what is a great marketing win you have experienced in a marketing tool? And we'll start with Jim.
Craigslist.
Okay.
So I will share an amazing success story that I had 10 years ago. When the prices of homes were ridiculously cheap, I put on the Craigslist, here are 5 homes less than $50,000. And I snagged an investor every day. Because they're like, really? And so then I would, say, here are some examples of some homes. So the latest thing that I do now is on Craigslist, I advertise things like, are you frustrated with your tenants? Is your tenant not paying rent? Or, essentially people that are frustrated with their tenants. And it costs money. It's $4 an ad. And I post probably 2 ads a week. And I snag probably 2 customers a month. So the return is pretty darn good. And my other tip for you is make sure you use compelling photos in the Craigslist ad.
Okay, excellent. That's very useful, Jim. And you might be thinking, I think everyone here could experiment with Craigslist. And you might be thinking, okay, what would I advertise on Craigslist? One thing that you're going to get is a potential couple customers a month. Another thing that you could go for is if you have some kind of a free download that you have a link that people go to. Now you get them on your contact list. And you could grow your contact list using Craigslist. It would be a great thing to try for us. So thank you, Jim. That's an awesome idea. A marketing idea that I'm working on right now that I consider amazing is whenever you have a product or you're advertising on the internet and you have whether you're trying to gain contacts for your contact list, you need some kind of carrot to get people to give you their name, their email. If you have a product, it's always good to have some kind of bonus that you add to the product. I just located and downloaded something like 3 million PLR, which is private label rights, ebooks, and products in a ton of different categories. Just about every category that's represented here. It's like you would automatically have a downloadable that you could use to give away or even sell. And this would gain more signups for you. If you're looking to grow your list and you're advertising on Craigslist, you want something that you could say, hey, download this. Download these 3 ebooks. Wow. You get some signups. And also if you have a service or a product or you want to do a free consultation, it's one thing to say, hey, I'll do this free consultation with you. Well, everyone's offering a free consultation and it's basically a sales call. But if you can say, hey, I have some really powerful ebooks for you in your niche, something that will be helpful, and I'm going to give those to you as a thank you for the consultation. You could get more people wanting to do a consultation with you. So PLR, ebooks, articles, software, private label rights. is a big thing. And so you can Google that and find collections that you can download in your niche. And that just gives you a boost, something to offer people as a carrot for your services, to gain contacts. So think of that, private label rights. Just Google that and find websites that offer those products. Okay, so that's mine. Cheri.
Well, you guys just gave a couple great suggestions. That's probably my weakest point, because I use Alignable, which I really want to get start using that more than what I have in the past, because I don't think it's as constricted as Facebook and LinkedIn are. I've done a little bit of TikTok and Instagram, but I really just need to focus on one platform, I think, and one that isn't controlled so much by the owners. So I don't know if anybody's used Alignable. You know, nextdoor.com is also a great one, especially if you have services that you want to offer people. Like my son lives in Henderson, so he uses nextdoor.com he's a fitness trainer, and he gets clients that way because they're in his area. He needs to see them one-on-one to work with them, unless he ever gets his butt in gear and does the videos I told him about doing to get his training online. Other than that, Stan introduced me to NowSite that has sales flow, which also I'm learning how to use that and make that a big benefit. And I'm going to use that mostly I can use it for both businesses, but I want to focus on using it for the family business, offering the cabling and phone systems and stuff for commercial buildings. Other
Is
than
that a CRM?
What's that?
Is that a CRM, sales flow?
Sales flow? It's pretty real. You haven't talked to Stan about that yet?
No.
Talk to Stan about that. I mean, it is
Yes,
awesome.
he has. He just doesn't know the name, because he that's kind of like David's kind of dismissed it, but he just doesn't know the name, right? But he has seen it. He has. It just didn't work when we were looking for HVAC contractors. You know, we weren't able to pull them up at that point and all of that. But all that's been fixed and it works beautifully. So
yeah, so look at it again, David.
Demo of Stan. So that's the search feature where you're searching for clients in your niche.
Start building relationships with them, because they have all the contact info, and a lot of it is through LinkedIn for the contact info. But I had an issue, but I think I found the answer to the issue. So if you bring up, let's say I'm looking for somebody that loves to travel, right? And then they take me to their contact info or to their LinkedIn, so that you can get their LinkedIn info, their emails, whatever info they have online, you have access to that. So it's best to start building relationships through one of the platforms like LinkedIn. If you don't have premium on LinkedIn, you can't always send them a message. But I found out if you click on the more button, then you can connect with them. And you just start building a relationship with them, and then you promote, you offer your services or products to them.
Okay.
And it's
wonderful.
truly robust now. I think they got all the kinks out of it. So check it out again, David.
I will do that. Okay. Excellent. Well, these are the 3 great ideas already that have been shared. Gary, do you have a marketing idea or a win that you want to share?
Well, I joined the Henderson Chamber, and I'm getting contacts and sales out of it just by meeting them.
And is that different than like the Las Vegas Chamber? Or
Yes, different city.
Okay.
The Metro Chamber is the biggest one in Nevada.
Mhm.
Henderson is the city of Henderson, but they're growing by leaps and bounds.
Mhm. And they can give you a little more personal attention, I imagine, also.
That's
So,
true.
Okay,
And I'm
good.
in.
Thank you. And Stan,
All right. So can I say two?
you can say two.
So the first one's kind of simple. It is the 30-second commercial. When you go to these networking groups, think out of the box to maybe try and be creative with it. And I'll give you an example of one of the groups I went to last Thursday. The way that they operate is you do your 30-second commercial, but then they kind of go around the room and they ask for testimonials, or you can ask a question of a person who gave their 30-second commercial. So what I did was I really crafted my 30-second commercial to try and evoke a question. And it did exactly that, so that when the person asked the question, now I got another minute and a half, 2 minutes to actually do more of a presentation. So strategy, right? Have a strategy around your 30-second commercial. What are you really trying to accomplish with it? The other one is tacks on to what David's talking about with PLR. So PLR is a great tool to use and can shortcut, help you save a lot of time with creating something that you can give away to attract people. But another one that is very overlooked are public domain books. Once a book has its copyright has expired, and there's some other things that happen that could make it public domain, that those are books that you could take, revise, or just redistribute because it's now public domain and available. One book that a lot of you have heard of is Napoleon Hill's classic, Think and Grow Rich, right? But there's tons of others out there. I did a search at one time. I was working with a lady that worked with a network marketing company called It Works. And turns out that there is a public domain book called It Works. And this book is all about how do you attract your ideal, situation. And it's along the lines of The Secret and all of that stuff, right? If you've never read It Works, go Google it. It's on YouTube. You can actually listen to it, but go get the book called It Works. It's a great little book, but it's also a great gift to give away to someone else, especially if you're promoting something that is positive mindset, how to get the things that you want out of life. So go look for public domain books.
Very good, Stan. Thank you. Okay. And Mark.
For those of you that know me, I do much better with direct contact marketing. So I still lean on a lot of networking activities. The best marketing tool I ever came across was wonderful pre-COVID, and I've got to get back into it. It was actually marketing at golf tournaments. I would sponsor the hole-in-one items on there, but instead of charging people to participate, I would just, all they had to do is give me their contact information, fill out a little form, and I'd come home with 70 or 80 complete piece of contact information that I can go back and use for the next 6 months to a year, 2 years, with people who had enough money to spend $100, $150 to play golf. So they're my kind of people. And the cost was minimal, like tiny. If I purchase leads, typically about $10 a lead. So to get 700, it cost me $70, it cost me $700. And this would be about $200. So it's a great way to do it. Plus, I'm building a relationship before I call them because I've already met them on the course.
Wow.
So anyway, those are the two. I still do much better face to face. Although my face you would not think knowing who I am.
I don't know about that. But anyway, that's a great idea, Mark. Okay, and if you want to know more about that hole-in-one opportunity. It's, I got it in my head now, Mark, but if I were to try to do it, I'd probably talk to you first.
Yeah, I'd be more than happy to share it. Just don't share it with other insurance agents.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, and Michael.
LinkedIn. Yeah, basically, how we're looking to refer people. How many of you are associated with me on LinkedIn?
I believe I am.
Talking to me?
Yeah. Here's the thing. I can give a reference out about you on LinkedIn. Did you know that? So it would be good to, if you're not, because I know some of you are, if you're not connected to me on LinkedIn, it's good if you send an invitation or something, because I can get connected to you and I can give a reference out to people who follow me. Now I'm planning on doing that with some of the people are already here. All right. But I want to also be able to include everybody else. That's going to be big, because I'm finding out more things on LinkedIn that can be used to bring an even greater audience, not just to me, but to other people.
Okay, wonderful. And I've got to follow up with, expanding that idea, Michael. I knew a business owner, and he worked with Insperity, HR, insurance, payroll, and he was like Mr. LinkedIn. And what he did is like one step beyond, but it's the same thing Michael's talking about. He would have a one-to-one with people. And what he would do, it'd be an active meeting where they'd both sit down at a table, they'd open up their LinkedIn at that table, and they'd each message their contacts introducing the other person. And if you've got like, and I got contacts through that, and I had conversations through that, got business through that. Just that one session I had with Steve. This is a really creative way to have a one-to-one. And where most of us are, we're kind of stretching for referrals. Oh, do I have a referral? How am I going to do this? Well, it's a slam dunk. Sit down with another person who has LinkedIn contacts, and boom, you've sent more referrals than you can imagine.
Yeah.
So, okay. Thank you, Michael.
You got it.
And Beejel.
A couple of things. One is, I think we've all invested in software and networking events, but how good is your follow-up, right? Everybody tells us that the value's in the list, but every time we network, we build we're building a connection, right? Maybe not a list in the classical sense of an email list, but a list of contacts, right? So the first stage is the know, like, and trust. But even right now, I believe we all have a know, like, trust list of people that simply haven't heard from us for ages, right? I think going back to what Stan said, one of the ways that I built my business was using greeting cards, literally by just sending a greeting card about every 90 days. So I kind of picked July 4th, I picked Halloween, and I think New Year's, Christmas/New Year's. So every 90 days, give or take, my know, like, and trust list would hear from me. And again, something else that's very consistent with me is my branding. So yellow. Everybody knows in my circle that Beejel wears yellow. They connect B with yellow, yellow with B. And I kid you not, I believe the color yellow has helped me build, now a very high revenue per month, because people see yellow literally randomly and say, oh, I thought about you. And oh, by the way, here's a lead, here's a connection, right? So one of my marketing gurus once told me, goes, Beejel, if nothing else, be memorable for something, because you are fighting in an ocean of faces, an ocean of crowd. What are people going to remember about you? The other thing that helps me stay front and center of people's minds is, ironically, my backdrop. It wasn't intentional, but everybody remembers my backdrop, because there's in
80% of people can connect with something they see in the backdrop. There's a little bit of Harry Potter going on here. There's a little bit of Star Wars going on over here. There's a Rubik's Cube, up there. So something on there, you typically catches their eye. And again, another reason that people just, so how are you creating that know, like, and trust? And right now we're all networking, but what's your follow-up activity going to be? This is kind of a smaller group. Sometimes I'm a group of 100 people. How do you follow up, with people? And how do you do it in a way that doesn't feel spammy, right? Can you send them a gift? Can you send them a video of your greatest tips? Like right now we're sharing tips. What if you shot a video and said, hey, I just came up with this little marketing strategy. Here's a link to my YouTube video, right? But now that work, that what we call the hustle of the follow-up, is what most entrepreneurs, we know from statistics that 80 to 90% of people have little to no follow-up in what they do. But that's where the money is. So how can you improve your follow-up? And if you're not doing it, it's unlikely you're going to start doing it because you all known about it. That's something perfect that you can start to delegate out to somebody else.
Wow, that's fantastic, Beejel. And as you were speaking, and I'm thinking of all the great ideas that have come out of this, it's just amazing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to save the recording of these ideas, put them on the website, so you can go through this again. And I guarantee if you take even one of these ideas, take one a month for the next 12 months, you will find clients. Okay. Bless you, Gary. Okay. And next is Becky.
Well, going after all of your guys' ideas, and not trying to repeat, I will emphasize that I've recently been exploring LinkedIn or Alignable, and also have dug deeper into Instagram. But for me, I think that we all have what's in us already. When we talk about what marketing ideas and sharing marketing ideas, it gives us that adrenaline to go out and try all these ideas that people are doing. But how many ideas have we already invested in that we haven't really given it a good try? Every idea is a great marketing idea. The question is how much time do you give it before you discount it and go on to something else? Mm-hmm. So my suggestion is look back at all the things that you already have. There's not one magic pill for marketing. Everything, your uniqueness and it's been hit on. Beejel mentioned the backdrop, his yellow. Mine's my red hair. Everyone knows I'm in the room because of my red hair, and they look across the room and can find me. I tried to get rid of it, and I became invisible. So having something unique, but really your best marketing is from within, and utilizing the resources and the energy that you have from within, and not being what I call not making a decision to be a want-to-preneur. Make the decision that you want to be a successful-preneur. We've got the marketing tips that we need already within our knowledge.
Okay.
That's back to you.
Excellent. Consistency and not giving up too soon. Definitely. Beejel is not just yellow this month, but he's probably yellow for the long run. And that consistency is really important.